Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live and back at it again. Welcome to the Wrestling for Life Network. This is going to be a fun show as we dive into your WWE Backlash previews and predictions. It's going to be a fun one, folks. We got lots to talk about. Plus, as always, the wrestling world gives us plenty more to talk about. We're going to be here for the next little bit, meeting these pretty faces. Gotcha. So strap in, strap on, grab your snacks, grab your feel good, and let's go. Ding, 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 ladies and gentlemen. We are live and back at it again. Like I said, we are the Wrestling for Life Network, and we have your WWE Backlash preview and predictions tonight. Lots going on in the wrestling world. Couple wrestling shows going on as well. From all the companies. Everybody's getting involved. So it's a crazy night here on the channel. We're going to keep an eye on some stuff going on in the wrestling world. Remember, no spoilers. Don't give out any spoilers, just in case people are watching us and not watching the shows. But beyond that, folks, it's going to be a fun one. We got so much to get into. Backlash, an interesting card. Not a lot of matches, which is the Triple H way to do it. So we will see how it all feels. But I will take a second to remind everybody, I am Mr. Every Night KJ White, the Iron Man of YouTube. That is Anthony. Yes, that is Big Nick. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Wrestling for Life Network proudly brings to you its tag stream trios champions of the world. The man who puts the T in TNA, Ringsider Anthony, the Every Night Delight, KJ White. I am Big Nick, and I think we all agreed before we got into Backlash. We got some Tyrone Bigham's crackhead situations we might need to talk about.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, folks. For those who don't know, and we will get into all the predictions, blow up that chat. Say hello. Hope everyone out there is happy, healthy, and safe. But yeah, Buzz, we talked last Thursday, Dirt Sheet debate. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But we talked about, is Ricochet trolling? Is Ricochet, just working his heel overtime? But he might have picked a fight with the wrong dog. If you guys haven't seen this, Javon Evans goes off, boys.
Right? I almost want to pull up and read the whole tweet log here, but that'll take us a minute.
Yeah, I think we should do it.
The crazy times. I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was an exchange between Javon Evans and Ricochet. Ricochet just swinging at him, but the young OG just said, not today, and fired back quick and hard, Anthony.
He did. I came home from work and I pulled out, the first thing I pulled out was my phone and saw Twitter, and I said, whoo. Okay, it's gotten heated on Twitter between these two.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe I have the best collection of everything that's transpired here. So you have Ricochet quote tweeting a tweet from a Happy Corbin account. I don't know if that's actually Corbin himself saying I'd squash him. I think talking about Javon, especially because he hit that crazy ass move on Tuesday.
Well, and I think the where it started was somebody made a comment about Javon, and then Ricochet retweeted it with a quote tweet of something like "I'm better" or something akin to that.
That's what I'm saying. It was I'd squash him. I wasn't sure what that one was too, but then Javon claps back with, "My bad. I just got done training at the Performance Center under Shawn Michaels. Something that you don't have or do, but I bet you, your brown egg head ass would squash me if Tony told you to." Shrug emoji, much love, OG.
Much love, you egghead mofo.
Right? Go to Ricochet's response, brother. I was learning from Shawn Michaels when you was like 12, then went on to become multiple-time champion. Let me know when you win one, little boy. And yeah, Tony asked me, I definitely beat your ass. Could. That's how he spelt it. I'm not just putting on a performance.
Right.
To which Javon clapped back again with, "You learned from HBK when I was 12 and became a multiple-time champion. Now you're wrestling in front of 2,000 people every week for a crackhead.
A what?
Talk about an upgrade. Am I right?
A what? A what?
Yes, the term was crackhead.
Crackhead. Allegedly.
Well, and then there's another one, a follow-up even, I believe, from Javon too. Sounds like Mr. Khan isn't giving you enough attention, so you had to come for a successful ass youngin. You're giving me the most views on my post, and I'm finally helping you get the most attention you've ever had in your career. Ouch. Shrug emoji, all love.
I see some difference of opinion out in the chat, but we will talk about that. That's crazy. Look at Anthony. Anthony's like, what? How did we get here, Anthony?
I don't know how we got here, but I do know the crackhead joke took me out. I stopped reading after that because I was like, he got him. I don't care who would win in a match, but with the war of words today, Javon got the best of Ricochet.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I think right now he's the best of him in the ring, and he got the best of him on the mic. And I mean, you could talk about the whole tribalism of how I think the media really asking WWE versus AEW type questions to every wrestler feeds into the tribalism. But these two on their own scrapping it out, and he's out there calling him a crackhead, this and that. I saw somebody did a meme of like, it's the old thing when it was HBK, Hunter, and Road Dogg, all old men trying to use a computer, and they're all like, you know, oh, Javon Evans left his Twitter account. Let's call Tony a crackhead.
Right, dude, it's insane. Like, we do talk about this, and I know some people online were like, these deplorable WWE talent we don't often see unless it's within some site. Like Naomi's been burning ever since she did this heel turn, but it's all within that storyline.
Right.
To have it, you know, you don't usually see like what Javon did, especially going that hard. I'm like wondering when they come down.
Right. Well, and and that's the thing, is him to go that way about it. And again, yeah, that's aggressive ass good move there. Bold strategy. But I mean, you like to see it, and I do like Ricochet. I know we talked about it, of him. Is he a troll? Is this just him being a heel character? Is this really him? And he just now is out of the WWE realm, and this is what we would have had from Trevor all along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm leaning more towards it being a shoot at this point. I think he's just unhappy of, you know, where he was in WWE, and now I think he's just kind of lashing out in a way.
Doesn't it feel a little insecure? It feels a little like I'm not really comfortable with the decision I made here, so I'm going to do everything I can to like flex a big chest and be, you know, stand by it. And I've given a lot of praise to Ricochet, but it does feel a little bit soft, a little bit insecure, a little bit ego driven. I think MDB might have said it. He worked himself into his shoe. I think all of a sudden it just started. He couldn't stop himself.
But even then, I still like it. It does work out kind of best for both men. We know that this is probably just going to stay as a Twitter thing at best, and this is probably over and done with right there. And it got some buzz, it got some traction because we're all, you know, gossip. Ooh, he said it. And all of that. Stop, he's already dead. But it got attention on both guys. Like, we're talking about Ricochet and Javon Evans before we talk about the Backlash pay-per-view, because that's right now the trending thing we want to talk about.
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, we're supposed to do our predictions and get into all this Backlash fun, which we will do, folks. But no way we could just leave this unaddressed. And I mean,
you can never leave a crackhead unattended. You can never leave a crackhead unattended, unaddressed, anything.
Allegedly.
No, that's facts. That is facts. Them the rules to live by.
Them the rules.
Them the rules. I don't make them. I just follow them.
Right. Nick stopped watching Wayne's World after he was in the news on the drop. What?
Oh, when did Buzz and Wayne get brought into this?
Yeah, I lost you in the second half.
You lost me in the first half, second half, and third quarter, all of that.
But yeah, I mean, again, insane times in wrestling. We're watching a lot of buzz, a lot of online banter, a lot of people kind of poking at each other, fan bases not liking each other. Yes.
Is Javon a clapback after Ospreay's comments?
No, I don't think so.
Oh Lord, I forgot about Ospreay's.
Well, I was going to say, for anyone who didn't know that, Ospreay. Go ahead.
Well, let's touch the Ospreay thing, and folks, again, we will get to predictions, but this is too fun to avoid. But Ospreay. Now, I understand people's reaction to these comments, but have you ever seen like an athlete interviewed where they were like, "My team sucks. We're really shit. We're terrible. I'm not even good. I don't know why they drafted me." You know, that's kind of how athletes talk. Like, I'm the best.
He said what he was supposed to say.
Yeah. I don't get it. What is he? What do you say?
Well, and that's my thing. To me, it's more of the people that are asking these questions and interviewing them. They're asking specifically about the other company. Why don't you ask them about what's going on in their company and everything? You're feeding. It's all the people that don't want tribalism that just keep adding logs on the fire.
Yeah, that's the weirdest part about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what he said is, I guess how he feels, right? So everybody kind of jumping on what he said. I felt like it was unnecessary. If he doesn't enjoy WWE, then he just doesn't enjoy WWE, right? He didn't sign there, obviously. He signed with AEW. But just seeing the banter online between the WWE fans and the AEW fans makes the whole thing so good, and just to read what they say.
Yeah, if you're able to step back, and I think this is something I really, really tried to do over the last little while here, is just step back and kind of watch the carnage that is taking place. It becomes a lot more fun, a lot like more entertaining. Like just watching them sling mud and realize they're just the morons of the group. Like that's it. That's what they do. Like
exactly.
Some kids do the math equations. Some kids eat the glue. It's just the way it is.
It's true. But yeah, like you said, though, if you step back and just think about this for longer than half a second, and have you also noticed, we won't get into this, maybe we'll save it, talk about it Friday, of everybody starting to halfway walk back Del Rio side to WWE, but we'll talk about that a little later. But like you said, though, this is what he's supposed to say. He's supposed to big up you. I would lose my if Josh Allen's like, yeah, the Dolphins, they have a great franchise, like the Chiefs. I really love to play for them. I'm really proud of what they do.
Better than
what are you doing?
They're totally going to kick our ass next week.
Yeah, that's it. But so that's why if you take a step back and you really think about it and don't just get caught up in this riffraff between tribalistic sides, you just see that's what the fuck he's supposed to do. Regardless of how true it is, whatever, that shouldn't affect how you feel about what you're seeing. I've never said, like, if Josh Allen, again, I hate to keep bringing this man up, but if he sat there and popped up and said, I hate, pepperoni pizza, that's not going to stop me from buying fucking pepperoni pizza.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, ultimately, I think there's, I like it. I like the chaos. Like when people talked about Shane McMahon going to AEW, I'm like, I just want to see it for the carnage. Like, I just want to see what kind of fan reaction that gets. Like,
exactly.
Right. But no, I mean, insane times. Javon, the Ricochet's, circling back to that real quick before we exit out. Ricochet's last answer I saw was, well, how many people can you fit in the performance center?
Oh yeah, I missed that one.
That was kind of funny, but like at the same time, you got burned. It's over, bro. Let it go.
Game, set, match. Like, we have a clear-cut winner.
You landed a nice jab to maybe finish out the round, but this is a 10-8 round, my guy. You gotta just kind of take this one.
It's like when, if you want to compare it to something, it's like when Tiffany ran out the ring after mentioning Charlotte's divorce, and Charlotte grabbed the mic and said, "Why is Kaiser in my DMs?" He had to throw a last dig, and that was what Ricochet did.
Right.
I would say Ricochet's even landed a bit more because we at least can kind of see it, kind of believe it. No one believed anything that Charlotte said right there. So like, she just swung and missed. Ricochet at least hit the chin. So yeah.
Right. This is funny though. He's talking a lot of shit, and they're airing him with Angelico tonight. Like, moving on up. Maybe not. Yeah, I mean, careful. Javon might be fighting for a world title.
That's the thing, though, is Javon has nothing but runway in front of him. Like, the man still, he's NXT's Nick Wayne is like, what, 19, 20, 21? Barely able to be legal?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's all crazy. It's insane stuff. I want to see where it goes. But let's see here. 84% of the chat is looking forward to Backlash, which is good news. You guys looking forward to it?
Anthony?
I'm in the middle, like, of where it is. I think I said in the chat for Monday Night Raw, like, I think I'm the only one that doesn't really care to see Randy Orton and John Cena. I didn't care to see it in the old days. I don't care to see it now. But that's just how I am. That's just how I feel. It doesn't do anything for me. I don't care about the nostalgia.
You already made me more excited for that show just to prove you wrong. I was about to say, I don't know if it's because it's a thirsty Thursday and I'm still parched, but I wasn't like a chunk of this show. If you take out Randy versus Cena, kind of feels like a really cool SmackDown or a really great Raw. I wish that there was. I know we're clearly not going to get Jay versus Logan at this. If we do that and it's announced at SmackDown the night before, that's a problem.
Yeah.
But I wish there was something else besides Cena versus Orton to really kind of be a huge kind of tentpole, flagpole, weight-bearing kind of match on this card.
Now, is that by definition, like this being what we would call, quote unquote, a B pay-per-view? Is it understandable that, I mean, I'm looking forward to the match on our screen now. Becky, Lyra, I don't really.
That's a Raw match.
I kind of give you that. But the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. title, I'm pretty pumped for.
Main event SmackDown. It's going to be a great match. 100%.
No, I think that's a pay-per-view match. Come on, Jacob, Drew.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that because of the players involved. But I don't know. Would that be your co-main?
On this particular show, it's pretty close.
Fair. If they do that as the co-main and they do Randy versus Cena main, depending, maybe they throw Becky versus Lyra in there to give you a breather in between. If they do it that way, I'll give you that. That's a good match to have here.
Yeah, I just figure the names are so big. I mean, I think it qualifies as a pay-per-view match for sure, especially on this card. It's one of the better matches as far as name value goes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you know who, and well, I won't say who we think we knows, but you kind of figures you knows who you knows. Okay, fair enough then. I might be barking up Schitt's Creek here.
No, I don't know. I'm in denial.
That's the river. I was barking up the Schitt's Creek there, the river there.
Right. Spaz, $10 super chat. If you want more preview of Backlash, also MLP Northern Rising. Yes, this weekend. It's going to be a good show. Come on over. The water's warm. Where you video and pod. Also, I'll be at MLP. I'll try and send the boys some pics. Big love, insert funny names. Wicked Spaz, thank you for the $10 super chat. And yes, go check out Spaz and his content.
Absolutely. Appreciate you.
But first match on the docket here, Pat McAfee, Gunther. I know there's mixed feelings about this one. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I actually am.
I'm really looking forward to Gunther destroying Pat McAfee. That's what I'm looking forward to right here. I think this would be a fun match. I've seen Pat McAfee wrestle live at SummerSlam in Nashville, and it wasn't a bad match. It was actually really good. I think he faced The Miz, if I can remember correctly. But I'm excited for this. I do want Gunther to just destroy him, take him out.
This is my third favorite match on the card.
Okay.
I do like Pat. I do like Gunther. I see a bit of what you're saying, KJ, what we've talked about most of the week of he'll duck, dip, dive, and dodge and all of that away from Gunther. But the second Gunther gets him, snatches his soul, that's it, game over, lights out, thanks for playing.
Yeah.
So that's why, to me, it's McAfee, Cherokee, Applebee's, Gunther in 5. This does not go longer than 5 minutes. Yeah. It needs to be. I'll give Pat some time. He runs away. He gets a low blow or something, and he can bounce around, get maybe a punch or two in, and then Gunther snatches him up and ends this quick. This needs to be definitive as all get out.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that quick. It's going to be definitive. Pat's going to get dominated and his ass whooped for 96% of this match. But I do think they stretch it out. I do think there's going to be a lot of rope-a-dope. Gunther's going to kick the shit out of Pat for a while. Then Pat's going to flare up. He looks all exciting. But Gunther's going to knock him down a couple more times. Then you have that moment where he's all fired up and he gets a little bit of offense and then eventually gets dusted. I don't think they booked this match, especially on a 5-match card, that this match doesn't at least hit 10.
I also think there'll be, maybe 1 or 2 moments where, we know Gunther hasn't beat. He might hit his finisher and then gets the pin and then pulls him up, to keep the beat down going, which, I I'm really excited just to see Pat McAfee.
Right? Drag him out to ringside and show him to Cole.
Exactly. A little bit of taunting and stuff like that. Absolutely.
We are literally the full spectrum of this, viewership on this match. Anthony just wants to see Pat just get decimated, embarrassed, destroyed, beat down. Just he's away. KJ is like, maybe Pat might have a chance. He's gonna have the greatest match of his career out here. And I'm just end it. Just get it over with. Just he can have his little moments. I like Pat. He can have his cool moments, but he just gets his lights choked out. And we just all go home and we know what we were supposed to do here.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with you. The only difference, in my opinion, is duration. I just think they stretch it out longer than you think they're going to stretch it out. That's all. But like
McAfee, Willow Tree, Bumblebee, Gunther and
5. The chat is quite interesting on this one, as they are 61% Gunther, 29% Pat. Nobody getting an 8. I guess the caveat to this match is the highly anticipated possibility, certainly, maybe, could be Goldberg.
You son of a bitch. Yeah, I was like, I saw Dale say it. I saw Brandon mention it, Gold. No, I don't want no Goldberg, not no way, not no how. Why? Just why? Like, I get that Bill wants this to happen. Nobody, and I do mean nobody else wants this to happen.
Yeah, I'm not feeling Goldberg coming back and facing Gunther. I mean, if that's their plan, that's their plan. Do I have to like it? No. But yeah, I'm not feeling Goldberg coming, interrupting this match. I ain't feeling it. Goldberg can just go away, right? Now, when I did see him in Atlanta, did I cheer? Yes, because it's Goldberg. But do I want to see him wrestle? No, I don't want to.
I just don't know what you get out of it. Like, unless you bring Goldberg in and Gunther dusts him, but he says, I got my last match. I got to hug my kid in the ring. Is it worth it? Like, is that what we're doing? Is that what the big, or what? Goldberg beats him? Well, that doesn't make any sense either. And is it the only guy that might actually make fucking Gunther look bad in the ring? Because Goldberg has a habit of doing that. As Bret Hart.
Or Taker. Or any recent opponent. That's the thing, is to me, it's the only person this makes sense to, the only person that wants this, the only way this works in any sort of way is Bill. Bill wants this. That's the only thing. He just wants his one last match. He's becoming more and more Ryback by the day, I feel, of just, I could still go. I don't know why they don't want me in there. I'm going to take out their top guy, Gunther. No. Why? Why the fuck would Gunther go from wrestling Pat McAfee? Your former world champ just lost the title at WrestleMania. His next 2 opponents and next 2 stories are Pat McAfee and Goldberg. What the fuck are we doing? If that's it, you derailed the fucking train as fast. Like, you built this story over fucking however many years Gunther's been there, and you derailed it in 2 matches.
Yeah, I don't know about derailed because it's Gunther. Like, those are thick rails. Like, it's going to take a lot to knock him off, and especially unless he's pulling up L's, which I don't see him doing, I think he's still going to be okay. He does Pat, he has a little bit of a, we're not going to get a great match. Like, what is it going to be? Gunther beats up Goldberg for 11 minutes and then kicks out of the spear and the jackhammer to just win anyway. I don't care.
Could Ilya return in this match?
Oh,
because and actually get Pat the win and just ready. I know his name's been brought up, and it kind of feels like we're getting close to there. And yes, this is a B pay-per-view, but you still might have some surprises. We always still know Backlash, especially lately, has moved away from being WrestleMania Backlash and actually kind of had its more memorable moments now.
Right.
Now, if Ilya is ready, that's perfect. I think a lot of us want to see Ilya versus Gunther. So if we're gonna do that, I'm cool with. But Goldberg, nah.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want to see Ilya show up, which I thought he's not back until later, almost fall. But I don't want. Yeah, like Goldberg. I don't want anyone interfering to the point of Pat wins. I don't want Pat to win at all. Like,
Right.
I don't think it's a good look. But again, Gunther gets a pretty dominant win, and then he's celebrating. Maybe he roughs Pat up after the bell, and then we get the music.
I just need something out of this after Gunther Pat. That's Gunther Sheamus, maybe a Gunther Ilya if he does show up, if it's after the match, what have you. I don't want a Gunther Goldberg. Even if Gunther doesn't go for the world title, I need something a little bit more solidified of just recent former world champion coming out of WrestleMania.
Yeah, even if it's Ludwig.
No, don't you do that. God damn it. You can't keep breaking everybody up.
They don't even hang out anymore.
That is true.
You don't even call me.
Right? They're not even friends. I don't know what's up. They haven't hung out at all.
Where are you? And I'm so sorry. Thick Rails is Tony Khan's burner account name. Well, Thick Rails might be on a waiting list for Cora Jay's OnlyFans, but yeah.
63% of the chat said they would pop for a Goldberg return. 36 are saying no. I mean, I still think you're going to get the holy shit from me, but then it's going to be followed by damn.
Exactly. That'd be my reaction.
Charlton Heston, Planet of the Apes. You idiots. You blew it. You destroyed it. You idiots.
So officially 3 Goldbergs in the books. 3 Goldbergs, 3 Gunthers in the book.
3 Gunthers. No,
3 maybe Goldbergs.
3 Gunthers.
Right? 3 thumbs down on Goldberg. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, he's not in the Hurt Syndicate.
Oh my, right. Up next, the women's IC title. Lyra taking on Becky Lynch. How are we feeling about this one now?
I really enjoyed the back and forth between these two. It really has shown a light on Lyra over the past couple of weeks. She's been very strong on the mic. You've seen a bit more personality from Lyra Valkyria. I don't know how I feel about the match per se, but I am excited to see what happens. And I do feel like Becky may take the victory here because of the whole rule if you go over on the go home show, and Lyra did. But if Becky wins, I want the same energy that y'all be giving Charlotte and give it to Becky, because this is the exact same thing. I'm just saying.
I don't know. To me, am I out on an island here of Becky being back, and Becky coming back with this attitude and everything feels like a bit of a breath of a fresh air into the women's division. She's out there, even in interviews, taking pot shots at, well, Bailey's so lost in this, she's paying $9.99 to text her friend and all of that. I like Becky in all of this. We've thought even that she could be potentially added into the Seth and Braun and Heyman's whole group and everything.
I still like that idea.
Yeah, I wanted Becky I wanted this match at WrestleMania. So 100%, I think Becky wins this. I hear you, Anthony, with the Charlotte Becky thing. I just am not there with you, because to me, Becky feels like she even called out the whole Rhea and Liv feud of, oh, it's a great year. Oh, they were fighting over a guy with a mullet and a shitty mustache. Like, that's what it was. Of like, she's come in with this whole new attitude, and Charlotte's just been very up, down, sideways, all around.
Well, I'm not per se talking about their persona, the attitude. I'm just talking about the come back and get a championship spot. I don't care about the persona and all of that. I'm clearly talking about the comeback and immediately in whatever title picture. It doesn't matter if it's the main, the tag, or the mid card. It's just coming back and being in the title picture.
No, that's fair. Understood. I think that Becky getting this title helps elevate it. I know that Lyra is super talented and everything, but I think this is a little close to like when Seth became World Heavyweight Champion. This is, again, like I said, a title I wished was featured on WrestleMania. I wanted singles titles on women's titles on WrestleMania. So Becky having the belt helps really elevate this right now.
Fair enough. Now, I mean, again, there's the idea that Bayley could be coming back to either interfere in this match or just show up, kind of after the fact, kind of we talked about with the last match. I mean, if Becky wins, she moves on to Bayley. Lyra just kind of stays busy until she circles back around, kind of thing. Like, I mean, to me, it would almost be more beneficial for Becky to put Bird Lady over.
Absolutely. I kind of want that to happen. This is the first time I want the laws of wrestling not to go the way that they usually go, because especially what Lyra, I've been a fan of Lyra, you know, for a minute here, but just seeing the growth just in the past couple of weeks being in the same area as Becky Lynch, right, has been phenomenal. And you know, I think she got the best of Bayley on the mic this past week on Monday Night Raw. I just really think Lyra should take the victory here. I really think, and they could stretch this out to one more pay-per-view, because Money in the Bank is like in 3 weeks after this or something like that, and then we can have Bayley involved. But yeah, I think Lyra needs to take the first victory if we make this a series.
Yeah.
Once you mentioned Bayley, I was like, okay, that could make sense. You get Becky versus Bayley, and that's more the personal rivalry. Does that need a title? Yeah. I guess more than anything, if Lyra wins, I want the women's mid-card titles to be featured more prominently on weekly television, everything.
Fair enough. I think the US title has a little more presence.
Well, Chelsea was great with it, but then Zelina won it, and I still think it's fantastic. Everything that she's done with it since she's won it is an amazing moment, but we haven't seen it on TV in a bit.
I'm trying to think. When she won it 2 weeks ago?
Right after WrestleMania.
So, yeah, I mean, again, I think we'll see what they do. They've been hyping her up a lot, so we'll see how much love Vega gets. But yeah, I mean, again, now if it's Becky Bayley in any capacity, how are we feeling about Becky versus Bayley as a feud?
Yeah, I don't know. The animosity that's coming from Becky Lynch towards Bayley, I'm still trying to like figure it out a little bit. Like, I've seen clips of people trying to explain it, but to me, it doesn't feel that deep for it to be an actual feud. Like, if it was Becky Lynch coming out and attacking Charlotte and just using her as an example, like, I would understand it. Like, they legit have history. But when it comes to Becky Lynch and Bayley, it's like, y'all have crossed paths maybe a handful of times, if that. So where's this anger and animosity towards Bayley?
I think this boils down to when it's the Chris Van Fleet interview with Bayley, to where she says about how she's not as big of a star as a Becky or a Charlotte, and she kind of questions about that and why that is a thing. Of like, it really kind of came, I think, from that interview, and then Becky leading into being the heel character, you know, going at her and saying, you know, this, that, and the third. I think this is your best that kind of has an actual basis of like, they've been here long enough. They're kind of always perennially tied as the part of the four horsewomen. So anytime you get any of those four gals together, like, that's going to be a good feud, and they can lean into this. They can throw out Sasha, they can throw out names like Charlotte, and we kind of know the players involved, even if they take pot shots.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, long-standing history usually tells good stories. So the fact that they do go back so far, and we can talk about all those old times, it'll be interesting. It'll be very good, especially like you said, if Becky keeps running her mouth like this and now Bayley answers in kind, it could get a little fun. We'll see. But my money is on the Bird Lady. Like Bradley says, our poll is tied.
I'm going to change mine. I said Becky. I'm going with Lyra.
Okay, I'm Bird Lady. I'm with you.
Fair enough. I mean, I'll still go Becky.
Okay.
But I do see, like I said, especially I think the big player involved in this is Bayley. Bayley, to me, then you set into that feud with Becky without the title is the only way that I think Becky doesn't win here.
Yeah, I think in my head, if there's something like Goldberg happening, it's after the bell. If Bayley's coming back in the fold, it could be before the bell. And then that's your out, and that's where Lyra gets to kind of, you know, she gets a big win over Becky, but there's an asterisk.
And I think the good thing, if Lyra did win, I think it would be good where we can have another women's feud that doesn't revolve around a title. Like we've seen the Naomi and Jade thing and how that worked out great for them. I think if we did have Bayley versus Becky Lynch, like this could literally be without the title and work very well, if it's done correctly.
I fully agree with that, and that's like to me where I could see where Lyra wins this. Of that, that's the feud that you can do that doesn't need a title around it, and it's still a top tier feud.
And the thing is, like Anthony said, you kind of validated Bird Lady with this a little more, right? Like Lyra got some mic time and showed some chops, and now we're kind of like, kind of getting in a better groove with her. We've seen a little more personality. So whatever she goes on to next, we're kind of with her a little bit more now.
That's really the nail on the head there of she's found more personality. And I saw Ian's comment, and I don't know if you guys saw this. Did you see what Jonathan Coachman had to say about Bayley?
I didn't. I'd never listened to Coachman. He's one of the guys I do not. He could tell it. He could tell me. He could be announcing that there's an asteroid coming towards the planet, and I would not listen to him. I do not. If I ever see something from Coachman, it was by mistake.
Fair enough. Well, I feel like so the quote is Bayley. He criticizes Bayley for being boring and washed up, and I mean. I guess he's speaking from experience on how to quote that, but
hot meat kettle.
First of all,
hot meat fucking Dyson vacuum. You don't even know what the fuck you talking about, my guy.
Right? Sorry, Anthony.
I was saying that we both had the same expression.
Right. What are we talking about?
I saw that come across my timeline earlier, and I was like, well, are you sure you're not just talking about yourself, sir, now here? Intrusive thoughts be a bitch.
Jonathan Coachman is low-key right but wrong at the same time.
I don't think she's washed up because she can go in the ring and hang with the best of them. But her character, it's a bit boring.
Is it time for her to go back to Ding Dong?
It might be, but she talked about that on the Chris Van Vliet interview of how she's not confident in her character right now. So she knows that it's a problem, and she wants to figure out a way to change it.
It's a little too ambiguous.
Well, that's the whole thing. But if she has the feud with Becky, that could tap into now it's Bayley the person, is it? And then respectfully, I know some of you that know of is this Pamela we're talking to, or is this Bayley? And I think that if you give her this grounded character level is what she's really needed for the longest time. Of Bayley's always been the hugger. She's always been over the top. So if you can ground her in some reality, it can hit your heartstrings, my guy.
Well, she actually said that in the interview with Chris Van Vliet. She was like, I feel like it's just an extension of myself. She was like, I feel like it's just an extension of Pam, and it's not really resonating with the crowd. So she knows she has some work to do with that character, and I think she's in the process of trying to figure it out.
I think it just became a very void of, like, she started to feel like, Dolph Ziggler of the women's division, right? Like, show up, she's going to give you a solid match with whoever she's in the ring with. She'll make whoever you want her to make look good. She will. But again, kind of just, we've seen it. Like, you feel like you've been here for a long time. Maybe it is time for a hard pivot. And like you guys both said, digging into something a little more real might be the way to go.
She's a talent, but she's going to lose type of thing. And can I say the calamity that was Damage Control? Because it was good at times, and then it kind of just really petered out. Really kind of also petered Bayley out a bit because she was at one point the leader of that. So she just got caught into that.
Well, it led to her winning the title, and then she had the bit of the title run. I think it was post-title run. She kind of fell into a void where she wasn't in anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's not in Damage Control. She's not this. She's not that. She's just there. And we like her. I like her a lot. I just think, okay, it's her again.
Yeah. She needs a refresh. Open the windows. Let some fresh air in here type shit.
Right. Well, gentlemen, so officially, Bird Lady, Becky. All right, I can tie in the poll, so the chat is torn on that one. Next up, IC title in the men's division. Penta and Dom. Who would have thunk it that this is going to be a pay-per-view match in WWE ever? Never mind now, but yeah, interesting matchup.
I'm excited for Dominic's first title defense. Like I think is this his first title defense, or did he defend it? He might have defended it like the Monday after Raw, after WrestleMania.
No, I
I
think
don't
this is
recall
his first one.
This is his first one. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm excited for this. I think the crowd has really turned to Dom's favor. Like we saw that at WrestleMania. Penta obviously is phenomenal, and I believe Penta is going to pull the best out of Dom in this match. I do have Dom retaining. I want to see him hold that title for a little bit. But I'm excited for this one. I think out of all the matches on the card, I'm most excited for this one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's okay.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Bold strategy. But yeah, dirty Dom. The only way I think, and this isn't a knock on Penta, I think just storyline wise, the only way Penta wins here right now is if Finn interferes, gets involved, and we start pivoting towards a Dom Finn thing, and then we can have Penta versus a Rusev, Penta versus whoever, and defend the IC belt outside of Dom and Finn, and just let that be its own independent story about Judgment Day. That's the only way. But to me, heart of hearts, this is Dom.
It's so interesting to be in a position now of like, yeah, Dom probably might win this. Like, it's crazy. Like, even a few months ago, like Dom's going to be IC champion, and he's actually going to be the favorite going into a match. Not only a match, but a match against someone like Penta, where we're like, Dom's got it. We're like, what the? This I think is going to be a very heavily booked match. You know, we expect members of Judgment Day running around and causing trouble. I feel like we need something about Finn and Dom. I'm leaning Penta. I'm leaning Penta. Just why not give us a little jolt? But Dom got over so well. So I think this is the hardest one for me to call tonight.
Well, I
got it either way?
Is it that Dom, you got the reaction that you didn't expect at all because no one fucking expected dirty Dom, and like so now do you write him as a babyface, which would be weird to do.
Right.
So do you nip it in the bud and you just pivot to him versus Finn, and maybe you can still get Dom booed in that feud, and like I said, then you can get Penta versus XYZ in talent, and you can still have two good stories versus you cross in with Dom's IC champ. Like, when do you stop cheering now for Dom? Yeah. Now that's the thing. Has Dom gone full babyface?
Yeah, will that continue to be the trend?
Right. It has continued to be the trend. So I think he's kind of full babyface at this point. I would assume.
You think so?
Yeah.
Is he at,
I don't know. I guess we would need
scumbag level?
I guess we would kind of see what the reaction will be this coming Saturday. Like, what reaction does he get when he comes out?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, we talked about Bayley getting involved in one match. We think potentially somebody getting involved in that match. Somebody's definitely getting involved in this match. So, I mean, a lot of potential something might happen. This one's so hard for me to call. I wonder what the chat is thinking. 64% Dom, 27 Penta. So yeah, I mean a decent edge to Dom. I'm gonna go Penta just for the fun of it, but I would be shocked.
Is he?
If Penta wins, yeah, I'll be shocked. I'll be really shocked. I'll be happy too. For me, I don't think there's no wrong winner in this one. Like, Penta could take it. Penta's been on a roll since he, got to WWE, and then Dom over the past, year or so has really came into his own with this character. When you got AJ Styles talking about he's going to be, like a future champion, you got John Cena saying he'll be a future world champion, Randy Orton, you got these big guys saying that Dom has it. So there's no bad decision here, in my opinion.
Am I wrong in saying I'd be most surprised if Dom wins, but I'm picking him to win.
No, because I picked him to win at WrestleMania and was surprised he won because I didn't think he was winning. So I don't think so.
Fair enough, because like I all logic in my brain as of recently says like, well, Penta's the one who is actually a super talented wrestler and just got brought into the company and has all of this momentum behind him. He should win. He should be IC champ.
Right.
And then I just did dirty Dom. And I'm like, he should fucking win it. Like,
right.
He should win it. Just fuck it. It's the hot hand. Ride it till the wheels fall off.
Yes, and there's been a lot of talk about that lately with, across the board with companies. We've seen other companies push somebody when they like a Joe Hendry gets hot, so he gets all the love, he climbs the ladder. And we've talked about other companies that maybe need to kind of pay attention more to that kind of reaction and jump into it. Like you said, like grab onto the Bronco and get a ride in, and as long as the riding's good. So, I mean, what I like is we're back at a point where they've had enough title changes that we believe it could happen.
Right.
That valid. Well, Christ, we thought Seth might take the title off Jay on Raw.
Man, I wanted it. Not only did I think it, I kind of wanted it. All right. So officially 2 Doms and a Penna?
That sounds like something you don't want on your search history. Yeah.
All right. I like that. That's funny. But Fatal 4-Way U.S. title. So I know people are talking about this being a B pay-per-view. Lots of gold on the line all night long. So Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, LA Knight, all going after Jacob Fatu.
Am I the only one that now just looking at this fucking picture is just thinking, I'm just a poor boy from the who's live from this monstrosity.
I thought it's
very queen of a fucking photo. But yeah, this... We were talking briefly before we went live of this should almost be your co-main event, because this is heavyweight knockout, drag out. This is what you tune into. If this is a main event of any weekly show, you'd almost be saying, well, I felt like that should have been on a pay-per-view with this. And I'm still going Jacob, but this is a murderer's row of a fucking match.
Well, my mind went different with the picture and the poster because I thought it was the cast of Supernatural, because that's what it looks like to me.
Oh, fair enough. It's the eye of the tiger. It's the king of the fight.
So funny. Just a different range here,
right?
But I think Fatu takes this. All the other 3 gentlemen could potentially win. But I think Fatu takes this. Man has been on a roll. You know what I mean? Hopefully I said it right. But but yeah, he's been on a roll. He's been doing some good things. And I mean, I think I picked him to win at WrestleMania, but I still thought LA Knight was gonna pull out the victory. Let this man run with that title, and maybe I don't know how people would like it. I don't know how much I would like it, but it seems like they're building something with him and Solo, and like Solo, Fatu turning on Solo or the other way around, whatever it happens. And they build to a match, but I think Fatu takes this.
Yeah, I'm with you on Fatu's a wrecking ball. He is an absolute beast. Every aspect of pro wrestling, he has it dialed in. Like when I know there's some talk about who's the best right now and blah, 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 blah. You can't sleep on Jacob Fatu. He brings every intangible. And again, he will give you high spots. He will give you a smash mouth. And then he'll burn a fucking promo that you'll never forget. And you'll have everyone out there quoting in a quick time. Yeah, I don't see him losing. I don't know what happens with the other 3 here. Again, the only caveat, the bloodline. Solo and friends. How do they factor into this?
Well, at this point, it's only Solo that's still healthy unless he recruits new friends. So, if it wasn't going to be Jacob, which by the way, Jacob versus Ospreay, sign me up any day, and I'd still probably actually take Jacob in that match. But if you weren't going to pick Jacob, because I'm assuming we're all picking Jacob, we all want him to. He just won the title. If you weren't going to pick Jacob, who would you pick?
Drew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, damn it. I didn't expect it to be so universal.
Yeah, definitely Drew. I think LA Knight has had it, for some months there, lost it and won it back. So yeah, I think Drew obviously would be the runner up here.
Yeah, LA's got a good vote, but I think they might move him to Raw, and I think maybe it's time for him to go heel. But everybody's going heel, so we might have a problem.
Yeah.
Damian, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Drew seems like the second guy on the chart.
Who eats the pin? Damian.
Yeah.
Damn it, we all agree.
Right? Did we just become best friends?
We have so much more room for activities now.
We had a vote that was tied. This one is not at all tied. Jacob 84%, LA 4, Drew 8, Damian 8. So slight edge to number 2, Drew, from the bottom. But yeah, Jacob is an overwhelming.
Is it crazy though that LA Knight, who Jacob just won the title off of, is now the lowest in the poll?
Well,
to retain it?
Yeah. I mean, a minimal edge to Drew, but I think a lot of people value Drew more than they value LLA, maybe.
Well, no, wasn't he 4 and the other 2 were 8?
Yeah, it's 7 and 3-3.
Oh,
it's the way it officially worked out, but 8 and 4, 7 and 3.
Well, yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, I was like, I thought like somebody doubled somebody, even though they were clearly fighting for a second place. But yeah, it's just interesting to me of that, like how LA Knight he just lost the title, and you're like, all right, well, maybe we just move him. Like maybe just LA needs a change. He needs some air fresheners thrown in here.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so. I kind of agree with you, Nick.
If I can sneak a second plug, pause for $10, you can, sir. In about an hour, my NXT and TNA episode will be live. So if you want to hear why I'm better with a co-host and how much I don't know about AAA, come on by for a chuckle. Thank you, Spaz. And again, folks, go give Spaz some love. He gives his channel nothing but support. And again, thank you.
And I honestly, that made me chuckle. I love that of NXT and TNA now that they saw that they bought AAA, so it's TNA.
Well, and there's talks Joe Hendry's going to be at Triple Mania now, apparently. The Hardys.
Yeah.
Americano Grande.
Can I ask Anthony if Trick's going to beat Joe Hendry for the TNA title real quick?
Yeah, I'm down.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think not Mustafa Ali. Mike Santana made it clear last week that he's coming for Joe in the title. I think that's what we're building towards to Slammiversary. Slammiversary is in his hometown. So I don't think Trick wins.
I can't. I'd be shocked. And if with all the people that were like, they buried Joe. Now we're not going to get away from that argument.
Exactly.
Walk into the void here. I'm out here like Jack Nicholson in anger management. Yeah. Do it. Well, it would be so crazy if that's like, I know, Anta, you especially been like trying to be Kaiser Soze and pick out who's going to be the first, NXT WWE superstar to hold a TNA title. So if it's Trick Williams going over Joe Hendry, that'd be crazy.
It would be telling because Under Siege and Battleground are 2 days apart. So it would be telling of what's the outcome of the Under Siege match,
right? With
Trick and Frankie versus Elias or Elijah and Joe Hendry. The outcome of that match, I feel like, may determine the outcome at Battleground.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. I mean, again, I think we've all been clamoring for a title swap. You hold our belts, we'll hold your belts. So, and I know the instant reaction might be, oh my God, I can't believe they let Trick beat Joe. But then if somehow Joe beats Oba or whatever happens, or 2 nights later, like you said, Anthony, or a week later, or a couple weeks later, he gets it back. I want to see them, change the belts a little bit.
And it could be somewhere where if Trick wins, he defends it 2 weeks later at Against All Odds, because Against All Odds is 2 weeks later,
Yeah.
and Joe wins it back, and then you can kind of build on not Mustafa Ali, Mike Santana talking about how you lost the title for the company, you know, in that 2 week period. They could do something with that too. So that's an idea.
Well, and you keep mentioning Ali. Could he even be thrown into that title picture, even if it's a triple threat, a fatal four-way, or anything like that? Of like, I think Trick being now, even just for a brief time as champion, adds a little bit of chaos, and we get a little bit of movement around that title scene, and so maybe we can start to connect some other players and all of that.
It depends. It seems like after last week, Mustafa Ali is in a rebuilding stage because he didn't want to talk to anyone. He was pissed off. So it's interesting to kind of see where they put him next.
Yeah, and I think I just think for my own personal bias, and I think for the narrative that's online, I kind of wanted TNA to be the first company to kind of land the other belt, just kind of as like a sign of good faith, right? Like, we're in business together. Like, we expect the dub to get one, so to have TNA kind of get their hands on the first one, like the Hardy Boys winning the tag titles would have been good.
Well, I was going to say, so then what bet would it have been? Because I would have settled just for NXT gets, Lash and Jakara get the Knockouts titles. Yeah. I would have settled for that, or even Chemical X, but those teams are gone now.
Right.
So I would have settled for a women's tag belt, but now we're talking world titles. So now I got to come for blood. Right.
Nick's still going through the grieving process.
Trust me. Yes, I am very much.
I don't know what NXT belt would do it, but I do believe that if someone from TNA won the NXT belt, I think it would bring a lot of people in their eyes over to TNA to see what they do to get that belt off that TNA guy, and I think that would be a great fit. I don't know. I thought the women's tag team titles, the Knockouts tag team titles could be something. I thought the NXT titles could be something, but like everybody that was in that women's tag team title match at Rebellion or on the WWE side are gone, but Tatum Paxley and Lash Legend. So it's like, I don't know what we do, but I really want, and this is not just me being biased, I really want like it to be first and TNA take the title away from NXT. I think it'd be just good to see people tune in to TNA to see what they do with that title.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a very interesting one. Official Jamar Music, thank you so much for the super chat. Salute to KJ, Nick, and Ant. I hope to see Orton become 15-time champ on Saturday. Again, some people in the chat are saying 50-50. Some people are saying more than that. Like, I mean, some people think Randy has a real good shot. Hometown boy.
No. Just sorry, but no. I almost wonder if John Cena actually loses the belt on his final day. I don't think I see John Cena losing this belt anytime soon. And yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be really great. I'm really excited, and this makes me feel all the feels like when we got Edge versus Randy in the greatest match ever, where they even AI'd fucking Finkel back in. This is the end of an era. John Cena wins this. John Cena wins this.
Yeah, I did scratch my head a little bit on some of the fans that kind of jumped on, like, well, and I mean, I just had the one comment up, like, some people aren't excited about the nostalgia of this. I know, Anthony, you're kind of like that. Some people were like, they've done this before. I'm like, that's the point of a nostalgia match. Like, did we forget that? But ultimately, I think that for what John Cena is doing right now, this match needs to happen. We know it's not prime Cena, it's not prime Randy, but just to have that moment. Back to what you said, Nick, though, I almost can see Cena dropping the belt at like the last pay-per-view close to his final date. And then he comes out the next week as like, on the Saturday night main event or whatever. And it is more of like, I know I've been a dick, but I'm done now. See, this is my final appearance.
Yeah, but yeah. So Montana's saying of like maybe SummerSlam would have
maybe.
I think that the end of this is going to very much come down to redemption arc for John Cena. And right now, though, I'm fully into this. Like, I know Anthony, and I can't wait to hear why you don't like the nostalgia for this, because I'm very interested. But yeah, no, to me, this is the last time we're going to see this match ever. And this is, synonymous with both of these two. Like, is Randy Orton John Cena's greatest rival?
Yeah.
Is this like a little bit towards that? You think you're special?
It's either that or pattern male baldness. The one of the two.
They're just not a client of Hair Club for Men. They're also the part owners.
Mm-hmm. But Anthony, how you not loving this vibe?
Yeah, for me, this was a time period where I didn't watch wrestling, or I was keeping up with it. I stopped watching because of John Cena. I've said that multiple times on the streams. And so this does nothing for me. I watched their feud as best as I can through, like, I kept up with the pay-per-views and tried to watch all of them, but this does nothing for me. Like, I like Randy Orton. I have no problem with Randy Orton, and I've liked the heel run of John Cena. I'll say that. But the match in general, like, I didn't like it back then. I didn't care for it back then. I just don't care for it now. That's just my personal opinion. So, like, when it was announced, I was like, and I said it even before John Cena returned.
Yeah.
And everybody was talking about it. I said on the channel, I don't want to see Randy Orton versus John Cena, but I knew it was going to happen. Like, I knew it was going to happen. This is not something I want to see.
So not even with it being legend versus legend, like top guy versus top guy, Twilight's, going at it, just ain't doing it for you. Or is it just that they've leaned so much into the history of that? This is, the nostalgia act. This is one last time that, like.
I think it's both, honestly. Like, I feel like, so I'm trying to see if I can put an example to it. Like, if we got, and I don't want this to happen, but if we got The Rock versus Stone Cold one last time, like in the next year or so, I was stoked for that, their rivalry over the years. Like, so I would be stoked to see that match.
Yep.
I didn't care for this at all while it was happening. That's just that's kind of where I am. Like, if we got like, that's the best I can put it with Rock and Stone Cold. Because if you compare a rivalry, you'll put Rock and Stone Cold and maybe John Cena and Randy Orton in the same category. I just didn't really care about Randy Orton and John Cena. Like, I'm actually kind of stoked if we get CM Punk versus John Cena, because I did actually like that. Like, I thought it was fun between those two. But we saw Randy Orton and John Cena face off so many times where by like the 90th time, I was like, I'm kind of over it, right? And that's kind of how I feel here, even though it's one last time. And both are not in their prime, and I'm like,
yeah. And again, a little bit of that, we're doing this as homage more than we're not going for, we might get a really, really good match because these guys know how to tell a story. But we're not going to get that 5-star banger, I don't imagine. But again, I think it had to happen. Love it or hate it.
No. Yeah, 100%. I get it. And like I said, I think this feels very much like that. Remember, it was a Backlash too, to where they did the greatest match ever between Copeland and Randy Orton, and they even AI'd Finkel in and all of that. This has almost this kind of vibe, and I get now fully into what you were kind of saying of like, this franchise ain't for you. You ain't a Star Wars guy. You're more of a Marvel guy type of vibe. I get that. Yeah.
Like, that's how I feel about Cena and Edge. Like, I never cared for it. Like, at that time, like, it didn't do it for me. Other people, they did an A&E Rivals on it, and I was like, why? Like, who cares?
Right?
Exactly. And I mentioned like Stone Cold and The Rock. I don't want to see that. I literally said I didn't want to see that. I was just using that kind of as an example. Like, if they did that match, I would be excited.
Like, I sat there and even compared this to You Think You're Special, which is always tied to The Rock and Austin WrestleMania 17. This is very much, is this now Roman Seth? Is this Roman Brock? Is this Roman Cody? Like, what's the next iteration that we've had of this kind of, these are two guys forever destined to do this dance? Because that's what Orton and Cena feel like. That's what Dwayne and Austin always felt like.
Roman Seth, I think, is this generation's
Yeah.
combo. It feels like it, right? Like the two kind of big guys, Seth with those huge moments and championships, often on the back of Roman having the epic run. You know, Roman gets to be the Cena, Seth is kind of the Orton. Kind of fits, I think.
Yeah, you were my brother. You were the chosen one,
Yeah.
and you betrayed me. And that's been such, we're now how many years removed from the Shield, and that moment still resonates today.
Oh, for sure, right? Ultimately, again, this is kind of one of those we gotta, almost on the to-do list. Like I think our truth match is a must before John Cena leaves.
Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, like a Raw match. Like all of a sudden our truth has the epiphany of like, you're being a real bad guy, John Cena. And it leads to a match on Raw.
Is it interesting though of what he points out of how many dates he has left, and you've got to think like this has got to last me till December.
Right.
So do we want to run through, well, I think this would be what, 26, 25? And then that's including, we need him to build up and be at weekly shows to build up some of these pay-per-view matches. So we want to burn through. You got to get now selective with what you do with John.
Yeah, there's a few like nostalgia acts you could run through in the next 7 to 8 months. Like you can run through if you wanted to. I'm not saying I want to see any of these, but like you can run through John Cena and The Miz again. You can run through if Rey Mysterio is healthy, you can run through John Cena and Rey Mysterio again. Like there's a few that you can run through on a Monday Night Raw or something to give that kind of final match for everyone. And I think you even said it, KJ, and I think Boston might have agreed in the comments a couple of weeks ago of like Cena's last match being CM Punk and CM Punk taking the title. So that's all an option there.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, people talked about Cody. Like, is it kind of full circle? And, Cena gives the belt back to Cody on the way out and we ride off into the sunset. I love the idea of Punk just because of the narrative of, I'm taking this belt and going home. Wait a minute. That sounds familiar. And who better to save the company from that decision? CM Punk. And there's a good story there.
Oh, there's a 100% a story there. Absolutely. But do you send off, that would be sending off Cena theoretically as a heel. So that's the thing. And my biggest take is like, now that he's turned heel, do you still want to run through the greatest hits? Because I thought we turned him heel to avoid just going through the greatest hits a little bit. But I can see the CM Punk match. I still think you end it with Cody because that's the redeeming arc. You need to pull. John Cena does not go into that soft good night, and that sweet good night, that good sunset, still a heel. He has his redemption arc and goes in as a babyface. But if his last matches versus Punk, and Punk's the savior of the company, the voice of the voiceless, all of that, then you're sending off Cena as the heel.
But you don't have to drop the title at the end. Like he could drop the title at SummerSlam or Survivor Series and then still work 2, 3, 4 dates and a quick like, my bad. And people will cheer because he's.
Did I freeze or did he freeze?
I think KJ froze.
Okay, fair enough. Go. Oh, fast forward. Are you back? I don't know.
I think he's back now.
Hi, are you there?
Blink twice if you can hear me.
I blink way more than twice. God damn it!
Right,
Morse code.
But yeah, no, I was just saying. Ultimately, it doesn't have to be Cena's final match to drop the belt. And then he, goes away for a week, comes back a week later, and says, "I realize I love you guys," and we're all
Yeah, isn't it you end on the highest note? And isn't that like you end like you would hit your highest note and then you're just waiting for the after credits?
Maybe a little.
Like I can't wait to see John Cena show up, Peacemaker show up in the Fantastic Four now after he just dropped the title.
No, because I mean he can still have a run, right? Like I mean, I guess
this is the run. This is the run.
Well, I mean, if you're doing a good movie, you would have it like, the final stanza, the Cena's, if I win this match, I leave the company with the belt. And if I lose this match, CM Punk saves the day or whoever saves the day and keeps the belt in the company. So I would agree with that 100%.
Could you build all the way to that and then Cody wins it in that same kind of scenario, and then just as you go off the air, Cena hugs Cody, what have you? They have some sort of show of respect, and because I think John's at this point, he's still close enough that he hugs somebody, he shakes somebody's hand, and he's back babyface.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much needs to be to happen for Cena to turn back babyface. I mean, they still cheer for him. Like, even as a heel, you got the folks that still, cheer for him. So yeah, not much needs to be a hug, a handshake. I mean, something very, very easy. I agree there.
Right. Yeah, show of respect, and we're good to go. So we're all going Cena. Is that the easiest way to do this? Yeah, we're not done yet. Randy's gonna have fun with it. We're gonna have a lot of oh my god moments. But
Cody show up in this match, or Cody show up on Raw?
That's a great question. Do we get Cody back already?
Monday Night Raw, please. Monday Night Raw. Just let this. This is the last of those two, and I know we've already been through. Anthony doesn't like the nostalgia. I like the nostalgia. I want to see Kobe versus Jordan one more time, and just see it just be unfiltered. I don't need LeBron to pop in or any shit like that. Just let these two go at it, and then Monday Night Raw, you can have at it.
Yeah, I feel like they just need to have this straight up match, and you have a clear cut winner and loser. Cody comes back on either Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. I don't know if John Cena is advertised for Raw, but I think he is advertised for the SmackDown after Backlash.
Anthony just made me realize that this is a SmackDown title and not a Monday Night Raw title.
Not trying to correct you because it's so confusing.
You have that. Trust me, I needed that.
They've been on Raw the majority of the build this feud.
Well, at this time,
they all feel like fucking Raw titles now.
Exactly.
At this time in history, it doesn't seem to really matter what title it is. So
no, because this whole feud basically with at least Cody and John was built on Raw. I think they might have had one SmackDown segment.
Right.
Hey, you Anthony, no, I like, God damn it.
73% of the chat going Cena, RKO getting 23, so a heavy favorite to John, as we assume. I still think this is going to be a really good match. And going through this card with you guys, I actually think this is going to be a pretty solid show. 3 hours in and out, 5 matches, and I mean, I think there's a lot of quality here.
Backlash has a trend of over-delivering. Even, I know, Christ, what was it? Backlash France, where we got Io versus Bianca, that very much over-delivered. And I think AJ's match, too, as well, of you almost go into it expecting it to not do so great, and then it over-exceeds expectations pretty solidly.
Right. Wasn't there a Backlash? Was it last year's Backlash where it was like Cody, Kevin, and Randy versus the Bloodline? The Bloodline 2.0, wasn't that at Backlash too?
Was that a Backlash?
I don't know. I might be wrong, but I know there was
Cody and AJ, right? So maybe the year before? Or was that bad?
I'm pulling up Wikipedia. So, yeah, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Tama with Paul Heyman defeated Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Tag Team Street Fight was last year. Bayley defeated Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. Priest versus Uso, Bianca and Jade Cargill over the Kabuki Warriors. Cody Rhodes defeated AJ Styles. I saw MDB correcting me about getting Puerto Rico. These backlashes are so good; they got all run together here.
Right.
Well, Christ, even Puerto Rico had goddamn Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
That was a good show. That Puerto Rico show banged.
And we weren't even. Everyone remembers Bad Bunny. Chambea, chambea.
Right. But that is all the matches as it stands now. Will they add something on Friday? I don't expect them to, unless it's been brewing for a while and they go, fine, you're going to fight tomorrow. But I don't see Jey Uso being announced. I do know we have Saturday Night Main Event coming up. Plus, there's more coming real fast. I mean, June 7th is Money in the Bank, so we got to save some shit for that. But overall excitement level, prediction on your rating of Backlash, and we'll get on out of here.
I'm probably lowballing it here, but I'm gonna say a cool 7.
On my excitement level, or what I think the show is going to end at? Which one are you asking, sir?
Whatever tickles your fancy, or both.
Well, pickle out of 10, then I guess. I don't know. But right now, I'm with Anthony of like a 7. That again, I feel like Backlash, because it's only 2 weeks or so after WrestleMania, has just such the shortest runway, but it ends up somehow over delivering. So I'll come in low under the radar and hope it outshines itself.
Yeah. I kind of want to go like in that range, like 7.5, 8. Just because I think for me, I'm super excited for the main event. Just on that nostalgia standpoint and how it's gonna feel in the arena, especially with Randy being at home. I think I'm a little more excited for Pat Gunther than most people. But yeah, I'm kind of in that range. I think it's gonna be a really good show, but it has potential to be an outstanding show.
Yes, well, so it's right now out the gate. How you feel? Are we, slot machine 777 across the board?
I think so.
Gold bars all around.
Yeah, for sure. Ricochet versus Javon Evans at Backlash. Do it. Let's go. Forbidden Door. Let's go. Sorry, Nick.
No, I just agree with you. Does Randy come out to voices? Hey, nothing you can say. Nothing's gonna change my mind today.
Not bad. One last thing. Any involvement, Travis Scott or The Rock?
Please, no Travis Scott.
If there is a merciful God in heaven, and I'm not even just saying a God, but a merciful God, no, never, ever, ever, never do I ever see these 2 men beside a wrestling ring ever again.
Yeah, definitely no Travis Scott. We don't need him. He have like an Undertaker entrance? Like he took 20 minutes to get to the ring at WrestleMania. No, we don't need to see that. Nah.
He's been training with Booker.
Right? Nick still wants Broken Dreams. Yes, he does. That's really big chance for Ants. Love it. But ladies and gentlemen, we are back again. We are here at 6 p.m. on Saturday, May 10th, this Saturday, for Backlash. It's going to be a fun one here all night long. We got so much more wrestling coming your way. Of course, tomorrow we are back for SmackDown. Still 3 hours, but we're getting closer to 2, and I'm happy about that too. But gentlemen, always a pleasure to sit down and chat about it. Folks, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click all of our stuff. Don't forget about Anthony's TNA review. We do appreciate spoiler-free tonight, folks. I'm proud of you. But Anthony's killing it. Anything big that you're going to be, tonight's stacked. So
tonight's
stacked. Covering it.
Yeah, tonight's stacked. The biggest thing I'll probably be talking about is that international championship dog collar match. I think that's going to be wild tonight.
Yes.
I've been trying to have an eye to see if I see what I see with that dog collar match. But yes, our shit is real, our shit is raw, our shit is all authentic. When you're talking about that rest, you put that for live footage.
Good night, folks. Come back tomorrow. We got more on the way. See you on the flip side.